What's up, my kiddos? I'm back. It's been a minute, long time no see. Uh, I've sat down to do this episode many times, and it just, you know, life gets in the way. I recorded one, didn't really like it, sounded kind of funky. So every time I sit down to do a podcast, I'm like, okay, I'm getting figure the sound out. By the time I get the sound figured out, I just have no energy left. So I just like completely lose it. On top of that, super busy lately, so it's been hard. Anyways, I truly apologize for the long delay on the episode. But we're here now, and I'm recording this right now. No days before, nothing before. When you hear this, you're probably listening to it maybe 30 minutes before I did it. So, yeah, I wanted to talk about video games on this one, just because I thought about it. I was like, you know what do I want to talk about that I could go into depth in on the podcast? Because I think everybody's into something. I think everybody's into like, say some people are into like super fitness lifestyle, working out, all that kind of thing. Some people are super into politics. They like to know what's going on in the world. Me, sports, video games, and nutrition. That's me. Those three things. Other than that, I'm pretty out of the loop with stuff. Politics, if I do, it's like I hear about it on a podcast, and then that's about it. Other than that, I'm not really looking to go and find any type of news or any type of thing going on lately. If I do see it, I just see it. I think Twitter is good enough to know what's going on. It's, everything that matters is going to be on Twitter. That's just how I see it. Obviously, that's not true, but whatever. This time period of my life right now, it's kicking in that adulthood just sucks. It sucks. It really does. And I think you grow up and you are in high school and you're panicking about what you want to do, where you're going to go to school, that kind of thing. But once you get to like this age, and I guess I can't really relate just because I don't go to school. I did go to school, so I kind of know what it feels like, but I'm not in school currently. But I just work full time. But I can't even imagine going to school right now. Like where my head's at, I'm so ready to just like, I have zero energy. I just have enough energy to go to work and then like a quick spurt of something that I want to do after work. After that, I'm done. I don't have any more energy. I couldn't imagine going to school, doing homework, and then having a job, and then also stressing about like debt, all that kind of stuff. Oh, no way. You who are in school, if that's what you want to do, then I applaud you. I can't do it. There's no way. But I mean, working's hard, especially full time, because usually when it's full time, that company depends on you. It's different than if you work like a part time job. It's not as stressful. If you need to take a day off, then you take a day off. That's just what I found with part time jobs. But with full time, it's such a stress because if I have an appointment, it affects so many other people and their job, and I'm sure it's like that with most jobs. Maybe not, but with mine it's like that. So it's just a stress. It's different. There's days where I just don't enjoy it, but it's like and there's some days where I need a break, or there's some times where I feel like I need a break just to kick it, because I feel like I'm go all the time. It's like I'm working so much during the week, and then so I'm just can't wait to squeeze everything in on the weekends, and soon enough Monday comes back around and starts all over. I don't give myself enough time to recover from stuff. So that affects the podcast for sure. But I enjoy it. I genuinely enjoy doing the podcast. I've missed it. Every time I sit down and do an episode, I'm super excited to do that episode. But life happens, and I thought about it. I said, "Oh, I'm like, why is the podcast? What do I want from the podcast mostly? Like, what do I want more than anything?" And I really want to. I want to have a show that people can't wait to hear the upload for, uh, or they just want to see everything that I have to bring. I I know that doesn't make sense very much. It's kind of hard. Like in my head, it's different than when I say it out loud. Basically, I know what I want my podcast to be, and at times I, I get in my own head because it's not there yet. I feel like that goes along with a lot of things that a lot of people do. You have an idea when you start something of what it's gonna be, and then it's not quite that, but you know it will be that eventually. And just that growing pain period is so it feels like forever. It takes a long time. So, but the podcast, I know it will eventually get to where I want it to be, plain and simple. But long this time period, it sucks. I wish iTunes worked. I wish Spotify worked. Just because I mean, even me, when I go and listen to podcasts, I do listen to most of my podcasts on YouTube just because it's easier to find. But it is annoying. Like say you're listening to a podcast and you get a text. If you want to read the text or reply, you have to close out of YouTube, and then it stops. And then by the time you reply, you're like, you're kind of distracted. You probably sometimes, I know me. Sometimes I'll go to reply to someone and then I'll just start scrolling, and I forgot I was even listening or watching to something. So, so I'd love iTunes and Spotify to work for that reason, so that it's not so annoying to get around to have to listen to an episode. You can still use your phone and still listen, that kind of thing. And I know that I like when I can do that myself. So it's a two-way street that I could go. I could completely keep going with this road, and hopefully get the whole iTunes thing figured out. Do a lot of research, try to figure it out. I don't know what's going on with it. It's just a pain in the butt to upload. And like even if I get an episode on there, it has to be approved. And I've had times where like I'll get a notification saying it didn't get approved 2 weeks, and I forgot I even put it on there. So it's like weird stuff like that. And it's just annoying. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. Or the other option is make it purely a YouTube show, and it's just mostly visual. You want to watch it. It's not so much something you just have to sit and listen to me talk. You can watch. It's more enjoyable. That's what I would prefer to do. But that's a much more expensive route, much more time-consuming route, because I don't have anybody but me to do this. So all the editing, all the sound, all doing the episode, everything, I would be doing myself. So if I did want to go that route, I'd really have to designate so much time for it. So, but ultimately, I would love to do that more than anything else. So let me know. Let me know what you guys would want. I'll figure it out. And I hate that. I didn't do this podcast for the money. But obviously, things will move faster, get better faster if money is involved, So I always appreciate donations, 100%, 100%. So yeah, that's my wrap of this podcast. Now let's get to something I really wanted to talk about. So I have gotten back into Skyrim, and if you haven't played Skyrim, this next majority of this episode, you're going to be completely lost, but I feel like you'll still get a laugh out of it because that game's awesome. And if you have played that game, you're going, oh man, because that game will creep up on you. It doesn't lose time. I think last time I played Skyrim was, maybe like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, when they came out with the new remastered one that had mods and everything. And that was a long time ago, and I haven't played it since then. I don't know what it was or when I even started playing again, but I did. And now I'm hooked. I'm level 46, I think, 46, 47. I had never done a mage character. I'm a mage character this time, and it's so much fun. It's kind of feels like it's cheating a little bit, because I think with all the other classes, you have to be overall pretty strong in everything. You have to have your health level up every time you level up. You have to have your stamina leveled up every time you level up. Whereas with the the mage, it's purely just magicka. You know what I mean? It's the magicka bar that matters. So I mean, I don't. My health is lower than I've ever had it. My stamina, I feel like I've leveled up my stamina maybe twice, and I'm doing just fine. But like once your magicka is up there, dude, you get stacked because I've never realized when you play other characters how many spell books you find and all that stuff, and you just pass by it because you don't really care. But dude, it's addicting, and time flies because I do so much stuff, and there's so many different quests that are so different when you play as a magic character. I've always played as kind of like a sneak, stealth, archer character, more than anything else. And I had never done a wizard character. It's completely different. Totally different strategy when you go into different caves and locations. It's a different type of way you have to prepare to go in there. It's just different, and I like it. I'm getting the most out of it. Dude, I love the mods. I had never really gotten into the mods. When I first got the game, I used mods a little bit, but I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just kind of trying a little bit of everything. I thought it was cool. But now I'm really getting into it, the modding. And dude, the people who create these mods, it's insane the amount of detail they put in. It's like playing a whole nother game if you want to. You could all kinds of different mods. Like right now, my thing that I'm doing is I kind of got on a thing where I'm like, I did a lot of my quests. I don't really feel like going out and exploring. There's some times where like I get home late and I just want to play a little bit before I go to bed. So when you start a quest, you have to know, like if you want to start a quest, you're going to be up for like another hour and a half. So I don't really like doing quests when it's in that time frame. So I was like, I want to find stuff to do in the meantime. And I got this mod that's like, it's a cannabis mod. And you can grow cannabis and sell cannabis. It's freaking tight. And like, it sounds funny. Like I saw it and I was like, no way, that's what it is. And I downloaded it just for fun because I thought it was hilarious that they would actually have a mod like that. And dude, that thing is so much fun because it's crazy. Like you'll just be walking through a town and it kind of it does this thing where you once you have like a crop really and you have supply, the NPCs will actually come up to you and be like, hey, do you have blah blah what, and they'll hint to you, and there's all these different NPC dialogues for basically they're asking to buy from you. It's hilarious. You can actually like try your stuff and like it does a different effect on the screen. Oh dude, it's so much fun and it's addicting. It's like having a little business. Speaking of which, dude, my cannabis business, dude, when people people come in, they're like, why would you have a cannabis mod for Skyrim? That's not what Skyrim's about. This is what I say. That's how I feel. That's my response to that. Because, I'm just making moolah, baby, in a virtual reality. Making that fat moolah. I'm never poor. I can buy anything I want in that game. It's just like real life. I think that's why I like Skyrim. It's very relatable. But, dude, Bethesda, man, they're not doing too good, though. So honestly, like, I think the last good game that they did, and it's kind of debatable. A lot of people didn't like it either, but Fallout 4. I really liked Fallout 4. I played Fallout 4 for, dude, I don't know how many hours. Just because there's so many different parts of it. Like, if you want to do the main quests are so big, and there's so many parts of them. You can, like, it takes up a lot of, if you want to do the main quest, it would take a long time just to do the main quest. That doesn't even count for the side quests. Then there's faction quests. So, like, if you're a brotherhood, in this one, there's, what is the synth race called? I can't remember it, but there's like the robots, the synths. Damn it, I can't remember the name of it. Someone tell me what the name of it is, because I can't remember. And then the Minutemen, and the cool thing about the Minutemen is you get the colonies or whatever. What's it called? I know. I don't know. I forget. What is it? I'm not sure. Uh, but the that took so much time to like build, because every time you get a new colony or whatever, there's more people that come. You need more resources. Dude, I got to the point where I had like 30 that I was looking over, and just to keep them all happy, dude, it takes all your attention. There's no even need to play the game. That's its own game in itself. And then that doesn't even account for the DLCs you can get that add on to that, like the workshop DLC, and then mods. There's hundreds upon hundreds of mods for that, dude. I probably spent more time working on that than I did playing the actual game. Uh, I liked it. I like the mechanics of Fallout 4. I like the graphics of Fallout 4. I like the dialogue of Fallout 4. Uh, so I was really looking forward to when 76 came out, and that game sucks. It just sucks, dude. I don't know how to even start. I probably didn't even play it a full hour because I was done. I kept finding things that were like, dude, the Fallout games from 7 years ago didn't have crappy mechanics, or they were better than this one. It just felt like a rushed game. It feels like they were on a deadline to put something out for Fallout, and they just put something together in a couple months. Like, that's what the game feels like. It's awful. It was the worst game I've ever spent money on. I think I already have it deleted off my Xbox. I don't even have it anymore. So that was a humongous waste of time. So Bethesda, you gotta pick it up, because that game was it was embarrassing, to say the least. The Anthem, I played the early access, I think, or the demo. I played the demo, and it's fun. It's really fun. I know that it reminds me a lot of Destiny. And I didn't really get into Destiny. I downloaded Destiny 2 when this, like, the Forsaken DLC had just come out, because I wanted to get into it. There was a lot of hype. I kept seeing ads for it, that kind of thing. So I gave it a try. I just couldn't get into it. But Anthem reminds me a lot of Destiny, which is fine. But it's better. It's much better. If you don't know what Anthem is, it's basically a massive open world online game, and you're in this, like, I forget what they call it because I haven't really played it, but you're in this suit. It's kind of like Iron Man, and you can fly around this massive map and just do different quests. And dude, it's fun. But what I really liked about it, and I like when games are like this, is you can customize your character to basically to the finest detail. And it takes an hour if you really want to go in on making your character look cool, dude. It takes time, and it's pretty fairly easy. It's not. I hate when games you want to customize your character, but you have to grind to just get things you like to make your character. Like, I can't stand that. I want to just be able to make my character look cool off the bat, and Anthem is like that. So, even though I just played the demo and that character doesn't even count, I'll have to start all over when I actually play the real game. It was fun. It was really fun coming up with stuff. There's like this kind of like a design you can do, and it looks like Supreme, and it's just cool. Or like Louis, I don't know. It looks cool. You can make your character look super dope. So that game I'm excited to start playing. There's so many games that I downloaded from Black Friday that I still haven't even played, because they were all on sale. I was like, oh, I really wanted to try that game. I really wanted to try that game. And I never even started them. Didn't even try them out. So I got to do that too. But Skyrim's taking up most of my time. So priorities, priorities in life. And Skyrim's mine right now. Other than that, dude, what else is going on? Red Dead Redemption, I haven't played it. I've watched Zion. I've played a little bit. I've watched Zion play it. It's really cool. I love video games, but for some reason, it's so hard to start something. It's so hard to jump into a new game. Just something about it I can't do. Like, I'm playing either Skyrim or Madden, and that's it. Just because I don't really like when I get off work, all I want to do, when I'm at work, really, all I can think about is Skyrim, or like all I can think about is like, oh, I just want to go home and play Madden right now. So when I get home, the last thing I want to do is try something new, because in my head I've already been like, I've been craving to play those two games. So that's kind of been my problem with that. But I'm gonna try it out. And my girlfriend, I'm gonna make her a gamer. That's my new goal right now. We've been playing Star Wars Battlefront 2 a lot, and she kicks my ass. I'll tell you what, she's probably, I don't know if she'd ever played a game before. She acted like she didn't, but I'm starting to convince that she lies to me, because she kicked my ass off the bat. We were playing a game of Star Wars, and she destroyed me. And it hurt. I'm not gonna lie, it hurt. Hurt a lot. Hurt me down to my core. A little embarrassing, because all she does is sit and watch me play. Probably looks like I play way too much. And for her first time to hop on sticks, she just whoops me. It wasn't fun. I didn't enjoy it. I'm a sore loser. But congrats to her. And now she's a gamer. So yeah. I think that's how we're gonna bond. When she goes to school, I'm gonna just buy her an Xbox and we're gonna play. I'm gonna force her to play Overwatch with me and Star Wars. And computers, my computer's freezing up. So if the sound's messed up right here, that is why. Okay, it's back. That was weird. I don't know why I was doing that. The what else is going on? What's going on in your guys' life? Why don't you guys message me? Let's have a conversation. I need to start taking applications to get guests on. You know, I have some guests I still have lined up, but scheduling's kind of hard, especially when a lot of people I know are in a different city. It's kind of hard to set something up, because it has to be when they're available and when when I want to go down there, and or when I'm able, more importantly, when I'm able to actually go down there, because that's kind of hard to do. Uh, but there are a lot of people. There's a lot of people that I want to sit down with, and I really am excited to. And I keep meaning to message to those people, and I have. And but if you want to come on, dude, let's just sit and chat for the world to hear. For the kiddos to hear. It's just think about it as, you're coming up into my what's that called, tiki, my tent on the island, and you're just coming in and telling me how the tribe's going. That's really what it is. We're just having a silly goose conversation. And Zion hates when I say silly goose, but I've been saying it since I was, in my head since I was little, and that's I said it out loud, and he says, "Do you really say silly goose?" I said, "Yeah, I say silly goose." And now he makes fun of me for it. But I'm going to keep saying silly goose. Crystalia says that too. When I heard Crystalia say that, I got excited. I was like, okay, I'm not the only person that says silly goose time. It was hilarious. He said it, and I started cracking up laughing, because I thought I only said that. I don't even know where I got that from. Silly goose time. I feel like I've been saying that forever. I can't remember even where I got that from. Probably some like cartoon or something like that. Dude, it's crazy. I was thinking about it, like how much stuff when you're little defines you, or not even defines you. More like things that you do, things that you see when you're a kid, they make you who you are older. Little by little, I catch things. I'm like, I do this. I'm like, why do I do this? And I realize, I'm like, oh, dude, I started doing this when I was whatever, 5 or 6 or whatever, as far as back I can remember. I was like, I can remember that one time doing this. That's why I do this still. It's kind of weird when you think about it. It's a lot of stuff. I catch myself doing that a lot. And I'm getting older, I see like the way the world's shifting, and the internet, how crazy it is, because like I remember growing up, and I thought, dude, I used to think my parents were so strict, but really when I think about it, I'm like, dude, if I had a kid today, I would be 5 times more strict than my parents were, just because the world's freaking crazy. And it makes sense now. Like I wasn't allowed to have a phone, or no, I had a phone for a while, but I didn't have like full access phone until I was older, like much older. I didn't have social media till way after everybody else, which now I'm thankful for that. Cause, dude, stuff you say when you're 14, you probably look back at it and you're like, what was I doing? So to think that I would have had a Twitter at 14 or like an Instagram at 14, it's just crazy. I can't imagine. There's kids that are like 8 with those, with social media platforms. That's crazy to me. Yeah. So now that I think about it, when I'm an adult and I have a kid out, dude, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Just think about how crazy. Like, we were, how old are we when iPhones came out? I say we as in like people my generation. Cause that wasn't that long ago, dude. Now it's a part of everyone's life. Tell me one person, or more importantly than like an iPhone, just a smartphone. Think about, when's the last time you saw someone who didn't have a smartphone? Pretty crazy, right? And they just came out not too long ago. We were alive when they came out. We were pretty old when they came out. And now everyone has one. And it would be weird if you didn't have one. So it's crazy. I can't imagine what 6 years from now what's going to be going on. I can't even imagine. But yeah, it's crazy how quickly stuff evolves. I think especially like our age, it seems almost unreal that like we were born in this time period of technology taking off. Like, our generation's very special, I think. Very weird. End of the 90s kids are like, we just caught the huge spike of technology. And I can't even imagine, because it's only going to move faster. You got to think, right? So crazier stuff's going to happen sooner than we probably think. Or it's kind of funny when you think of, or when you watch old movies, how they thought 2019, 2020 would be, and it's totally not like how it is now. They thought we were going to be further ahead than we are now. So that's yeah. I think eventually we're all going to be wearing like VR headsets constantly. And this planet's going to go to shit. All right, that's what I think is going to happen, sadly. But there are huge leaps to get the oceans cleaned. I mean, just even living here, the freaking air pollution sucks, man. Like, I can't even remember the last time I went outside. I mean, maybe after it rains I can, but if I go outside, I can't see the stars. And even if I can, it's nothing like Tehachapi. So just imagine, and this is Visalia. Like, think about LA, what it must be like. They probably never see stars ever. That's wild to think of. And that's just one spot. Think of China. Think of Japan. Ugh. Like, our planet's screwed, man. And soon, I think. Yeah, man. I thought of, I was like, I wonder what the next leap for humans is. Big one. Like, when's the last time something huge happened, like, besides us, like, going to the moon or anything like that, if you believe in that or whatever. I wonder what the next thing will be. I feel like we're going to find a planet with life on it, but not like us. Because I think we as humans are one of a kind. I don't think, I think that what we're going to end up doing, I think our oldest ancestors did. I think that we are the aliens, I think that we're eventually going to get to the point where our planet sucks here. We're going to go to something completely foreign with all this different life. And we're just, from that point on, we repopulate. Because, I mean, think about it. How were the pyramids made? Because there's, like, even now, try to make something like that. It would be difficult. Even with today's technology, it would be difficult to do it. They were hauling those stones from, I don't know, it was a long ways away, wasn't it? I don't know specifically how far away it was, but like the quarry where they were getting the rocks to build the pyramids wasn't even close to where the pyramids were actually built. So how did they do that? And I think when I die, I hope that if we die, whatever death is for us, like we have the ability to find out the answers. Something about dying and then not caring. Like I always found it kind of interesting, like the idea of, or at least the Christian version of what heaven is, like the golden streets, and there's nothing but like happiness. And I'm probably butchering this. People who actually, know more than I do are probably shaking their head at me right now. But like to think that you're gonna go, or like think about it, like if heaven is what we think it's gonna be, and certain people don't make it into heaven, like what is that like? Would you even know? Like would you even know that? Like it just doesn't make sense to me. Like what if for some reason my closest friend doesn't make it in? Like how would that make heaven enjoyable, knowing that my closest friend is like having the complete flip side, living in torment or whatever people think hell is. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That just doesn't. It seems weird to just wrap your head around. More than anything, it's hard to wrap your head around just what that would be like to be in the stereotypical heaven idea, heaven setting. That would be weird. Or you're just sitting there waiting and hoping that your friends come, and what if they don't? More. But back to what I was saying. I hope that in the afterlife I can have answers, because there's so much stuff I wonder about, and like I fear dying and never getting to know. How are the pyramids built? Because that's something I really want to know, because I feel like that's a humongous part of human history that's just completely lost. Almost like odd how just no one knows. It's kind of suspicious, even a little bit. Like how do we just have no clue? It's weird to think about. That's my head. That's stuff that I think about constantly. I'm kind of messed up, which I feel like a lot of people do too. They're just not as open about it. Or it's kind of, I can see how it could be scary, so you kind of just don't think about that kind of stuff. You're kind of closed-minded to it. I know a lot of people like that. It's like, if I were to ask questions about that, they would be like, why are you asking me about that? Why does it matter? And those people drive me nuts. Absolutely nuts. I feel like it's good to be curious. I feel like it's good to wonder. If we didn't wonder, we wouldn't evolve or go anywhere as a species. We wouldn't have the technology that we have today if we didn't wonder what could be possible. Have you guys listened to the Alex Jones podcast, the newest one with Joe Rogan? Dude, that podcast was a trip. It took me like 2 days to listen to. But it's pretty crazy. Alex Jones, I don't know. I really don't believe anything he says factually, but I do think he strikes up some interesting things to think about. So I like listening to stuff for that, because it's like, and like, don't get me wrong, a lot of stuff is that he says, he can back it up with facts, and it's kind of scary, some of the stuff that he can back up with facts. But to think like, there's so much stuff that I think we know happens that we just are like, we don't want to think it happens, so we just act like it doesn't happen, and then over time it just becomes like a myth, like Illuminati or anything like that. Like now it's just a joke, but like that probably still happens today, like Freemasonry and stuff like that. Totally, and it probably touches more of our lives than we know. And I think we just are like, just because we can't wrap our head around it, it's immediately like, it can't be real. I don't think that's a good way of looking at life. I think it's good to wonder. I think it's good to have hope that, I'm not saying I hope Illuminati's real. That's not what I'm saying. I just mean that I think that there's things that we I don't think it's good to be closed-minded. I think it's good to wonder. Uh, because if you don't wonder, what makes life so beautiful, you know? If you just go day to day, and if you just are like, well, I'm a human because I am a human, I'm gonna die, and you know, that's it. Like, that's just a weird way to live. A weird way to live, because I have no idea what's after this. So if I can wonder all I can and look up as crazy stuff as I can and learn as much as I can about this reality that we live in, you know, why wouldn't I? So people that don't do that, you know, it's kind of weird. I feel like it's just a different, complete uh, wavelength which people live their lives. I think they're just completely different. And I've always wondered what it would be like to be in someone's head like that, or someone like that's head, just not caring or not wondering, and just accepting that you live, you die, or you wake up, you go to work, you know, you come home, and that's it, and that's all your life matters about, and that's all you think about. Nah, that's not what I want my life to be, at all. I think, yeah. So being open-minded, I think, is good, and that's where I always get. Whenever I bring this up, there's always that one person who brings up like religion in a way of like, I that's the thing I hate more than anything, is when you talk about stuff like that, people automatically put you in this box of like, oh, they must be atheist, or they must not be religious. And that's not true, you know? I don't think that's true. I think it's good to wonder. I was just talking with my grandpa about that, and he was talking about John the Baptist. And in the Bible, John the Baptist is the one who actually baptized Jesus and declared that he is who he says he is. He is Jesus. He is the Son of God. And John the Baptist was put in prison, and he said, go and ask Jesus if he's the Son of God. So even he came to a point where he doubted, and he was the one who even declared Jesus as Son of Christ, whatever. So I think it's impossible to not wonder. I think it's natural. I think it's impossible not to be curious and wonder, or to think about things twice. And I think it's good. I think it's a good thing to do that, you know, because if you just put your life into just one box and you stay out inside that box, like, I feel like you're going to get to the point where an end, and you were like, I feel like all these questions are going to be in your head by the time you're about to be out the door. Because, yeah, dude, I don't fear death. I'm more, and I'm not excited for death, but I'm very intrigued. I think that's because that's the biggest question of ever, is what happens when we die. No one knows. No one knows. And that's pretty crazy to think that no one here knows what happens when we're gone. There's no answers. It's pretty crazy. So live it up now while you have the chance. Who knows if after this we just start over, and we're not in the best circumstance that you're in now. Like, you know, you're not as blessed. What if you die and you wake up in a completely different life, that and you realize you took this life for granted, which obviously I think, like, if you woke up in another life, you wouldn't even remember this one. But just to think, like, you are blessed to be able to I'm blessed to just sit and do a podcast because I want to do a podcast. You know, there are places in the world where that's just, like, why would you do that? There's better things to do. But I can. Or just the fact that I can go and do anything I want if I wanted to. And my life is awesome because of that. And to think that there are human beings that can't do that is pretty crazy. So I have to kind of put that in perspective for myself of, geez, I only have one shot at this, And what if the next one isn't like this one, or isn't as good as this one? You know, I just want to live the best I can. And Zion just green goblin something. Zion's here. I'll say hi to Zion. But yeah, I told myself I was going to do a 30-minute podcast, and we are at 40 minutes. So I think I'm going to wrap this one up. My message going out today is play Skyrim. Play Skyrim and be open-minded. That's my wrap. And thanks for listening to the episode. I'll be back.